Hello and welcome to another episode of Anything Arduino. So in the last two episodes I went through how to connect a simple RGB LED like this. Really simple, uses 3 pins and no special code at all. And in the second episode I showed you how to do the exact same thing with 12 volts RGB strips. Both very useful for small projects. But let's not beat around the bush anymore. When you want to work with Arduino and RGB LEDs, nowadays everyone is using the WS2811 or 2812. So this little thing here. This is an addressable RGB LED. Almost all projects use it. I've seen projects that incorporate an Arduino in their bigger board just to handle the WS2811, which is weird, I guess, but they do that. You can do many things. They are addressable, so you can you can buy them in many forms. You can buy them like one-on-one, just to solder, like this. You can buy them on string, on strips, like this, that you can either you can remove them, like cut them and add them, or you can just have them like it is. And because they are addressable, you can address any of these LEDs and give them a color. So each RGB LED on this strip can have its own color. You can buy matrices like this, the same thing. You connect them in the back, and you can connect many of these together. They're on different sizes. Here's a 2x2 and this is a 4x4. You can get them as a ring, and you can get them as also as a ring, I guess, but with one in the middle as well. You can get them for lily pads. You can get them like this just on a line. And yeah, this is, if you want something a bit more complicated, then I was going to show you the TLC 5940 and a few others, but this is the way to go. The WS2811 is what everyone is using when doing more complex stuff. The downside is that you need a library, and which takes up a lot of programming space. So if you're on a tight programming space budget, you need all the code space that you can, then maybe a simple RGB LED like this, as I explained 2 episodes ago, is the way to go. Otherwise, if you have the code space, I'm going to show you how to do this. And as a project, I'm going to today take this. I've had lying around. It's one of those fiberglass things I bought on IKEA many years ago. It was just a white color and like that. And I want to use this one, which fits perfectly here, to color change this little thing. So let's find out how we're gonna do that. So doing a search online, library, WS2811 Arduino library. If we search for that, we find fast LED first up, and somewhere we should also find the Adafruit NeoPixel. So I'd say that the fast LED and the Adafruit NeoPixel is the two biggest and most used libraries for the WS2811. These Adafruit NeoPixel, Adafruit has a special product line called NeoPixels, which are WS2811 packaged and boarded by Adafruit. So, but it works with the generic ones as well. But I believe I'm going to take the fast LED approach for this one. And we move it into our Arduino folder, libraries, and there we have it, fast LED 3.1.8. So let's start Arduino. So we have to go back in here and rename this. Let's just remove that. So now we should have in our examples TLC 59, no, fast lead, sorry. Let's see what it says. The data pin, we need to define the data pin. Right, so we need to uncomment, edit one of the following lines for your LED arrangement. So this little module I'm going to use, on the backside it says that it is using 2812. So we're gonna uncomment that and comment that. And we should just see what this does. Data pin 3, that's okay. So we upload this and then we make our circuit.
The hookup for these kinds of modules are really simple. You have the digital in on the module goes to a digital pin on the Arduino. In this case we are using digital pin 3, and then you need plus 5 volts and ground. If you want to add more LEDs, if these 8 LEDs in this board isn't enough, then you can just serial connect these. So digital pin out to digital pin in, and you can continue like this. And you also need power and ground. And you can use any kind of modules and just move and add as many as you want. Keep in mind though that the Arduino can't handle too much power, so an external power source might be a good idea if you start using too many LEDs at the same time.
So I ran into a problem here when I tried to upload it, and it says in include file libraries fastled.h template class pixel type class used without template parameters. And I believe this is an error that you get when you have too old Arduino. So I'm still running my 1.0.5-R2. So what I've done is, no, we don't want to save that. What I've done is I've downloaded the latest Arduino. So this should be 8 point something. You can download it. You just download it on the arduino.cc page. So if we do the same thing, for some reason this became in Swedish. So we have examples down here, and we take the blink sketch again. Let's see, define numlids 1, data pin 3, that's good. And again, we need to change the LED type, I believe like so. And we change, it's good, and then we upload. So now we're using the latest and greatest Arduino IDE, which is probably needed for the fast LED to work. So if we go back here and we see that it now started blinking really bright. The fast LED library is really powerful, and just going through the examples, you can I can sit and be mesmerized for hours. There are very many very good examples, but for the sake of continuity in my videos, 3 videos about RGB, I'm going to show you how to set a specific LED in a specific color using RGB values. There are many ways to set colors and LEDs here, but hopefully this is simple enough. So first you need to include the library, of course. Then we, just to make it clear, we define the data pin that we're going to use. So in our case, pin 3, we define our number of LEDs. So I changed to another strip of LEDs that has 8 LEDs. And then we define the array of LEDs. So it's the RGB, LEDs, and number of LEDs, 8. In the setup, we need to set up the fast LED library. So fast LED, add LEDs, and then we need to use the type of LEDs we are using. And there is a whole bunch, as you can see here. These are just some of them, which type of LED you are using. So you need to set the correct one, and in my case it's a WS2812. And which data pin? Pin 3. And this is the order of the LEDs. So in my case it's green, red, blue. There is a sketch called RGB Calibrate that you can run, which will show you it sets one pin in one color, and then the 2 pins in what it thinks is 1 color red, 2 colors green, and 3 colors blue. So that is this order. If you get any other value, then you take the color that you have 1 of and put first, 2 of second, 3 of last. So that's what I did. I got 1 green, 2 red, and 3 blue. So GRB in my case. LEDs, that's this we defined there, and number of LEDs. So this is the setting up part. Also that one. Then in the loop, so here are a few examples. First off, this for loop here just sets all the LEDs in the array to black. And then so here are 3 different ways of doing it. The LED, and the LED is an array from 0, so this will actually light up the second LED. Let's change that to the first one. So this way we will change the first LED
to red 50, green 100 and blue 150. We set each part of the LED colors like this, and then we need to show it, fastled.show. So this will send the data to the LED. In the second example, we do again the same thing. So we change that to 1. So the second LED, and we send the values, same values again. And then we need to show it. Third example, we use hexadecimal colors. So red, green and blue, I believe. Let's make sure it is 0000. So this will, the third, which is 2, the third LED should be bright red. And again, you always need to send the show command. You can set many LEDs. Let's remove this one and this one, and we will set the last 2 LEDs at the same time. So here we use the HTML web color, hot pink, the same as we did up here, black. And oh yeah, fifth example is the same as example 2. So the fourth and fifth, or actually fifth and sixth LED will turn on at the same time. So let's upload the sketch. Here we have the first LED, second LED, third one is pure red, and those 2 turn on at the same time. And we jumped over 1 LED. So again, in the code, if we remove, if we only have 1 here, so we can set that we want to set the LED number 4 to red, green, what is that? That is yellow. Yep, yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th is yellow. So that is how you set the color of any specific LED in your matrix. Enclosure was simply built by chopping down a 2x4, so it was 4x4 inches across, and then cutting a hole that where the fiberglass tubing fit, and on the other side I just used a hole saw to cut a bigger sized hole. Now this didn't accommodate for a whole sized Arduino, and also I didn't want to put a whole Arduino platform into it. So I made a really bare bones Arduino, which I showed how to do in Anything Arduino episode 2. So if you want the specifics on how I did that, then go and watch that movie. And then I connected the LED to pin 3 again of the 80 mega really stripped down version of the Arduino, and added a power socket.
And that is it. The Fast LED library is quite easy to work with, as I showed you now lastly. However, if you want to do really complex stuff, it can do that as well, as you can see here. Many of the example sketches that are sent with the library shows off these kinds of things, and these I just ended up putting one of the example sketches in here. So this is the demo reel, and this one was some color changing thing. loads of cool things in the examples. So I hope you like this, and hope you now know which LED to use depending on your project and how to work with them. If you like this, click the subscribe button and the bell button, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments. And yeah, until next time, take care. Bye.